Hi, thanks for purchasing our Pachinko machine. I want to go over some quick start information. Lots of information can be found on the instruction DVD, but here's just some of the basics to get you going. First off, when you get your machine, you're going to have two boxes. One box is going to have this machine in it. The other box is going to have the cabinet that you ordered in it. Inside the cabinet, there's some parts that are boards that are saran wrapped together. Just cut that saran wrap, start separating the boards, and you'll find a CD, and on that CD is an instruction manual on how to assemble the cabinet. There's just a few boards, but it shows you how to attach the boards, and it's got the screws in a little bag there. So that's step one for the cabinet. Now step two for your machine. When you get that box, you can open the box, and the machine is bubble wrapped, so just remove all the bubble wrap, and from there the best thing to do is to assemble your cabinet first, and then you're going to set this machine inside of that cabinet, and then you'll use 4 screws on each side, 2 on each side of the cabinet, to hold the machine inside the cabinet. So while I don't have that done right here, let's just pretend like you've just now put the machine inside the cabinet, and the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the back. Okay, here's the top half of the back. The first thing you can do is undo the extension cord and then let it drop down the back. Now in the back of the cabinet there's a flat board, and the cord can drop behind the board if you're going to mount it on the wall. If you're not going to mount it on the wall, you just let the cord drop all the way down and plug it into the wall. Now if you plug in the cord before you put balls in the machine, a couple lights will come on, and those lights are to tell you that you need to add balls to your machine. But before we add balls, here's just a couple things we want to check. The first is this lever here. It needs to be in this position right here, which is the locked position. If for whatever reason during shipment it's in that position unlocked, just push this over to the right to relock that. Next, and perhaps one of the most important things for the machine, is that you reset the one ball seesaw. And I'm going to zoom in and show you that. Okay, behind this window there's a white piece that's aimed down. That white piece has 2 balls in it, and it tilts up and down as you get jackpots. Right now, the position it's in, your machine will not work, so it's important that you get it facing that direction. And the way you do that is down here there's a little pin, and if you just push up on that pin, it resets that seesaw. Okay, now your machine is ready to be loaded, so you can start playing it. So they'll drop down right in here, and they'll hit this tray, and then they'll roll in, and they'll roll down this track, and then roll back, and they'll enter the jackpot assembly, and they'll stop there. So I got some balls. I'm going to pour it into the tray, and we'll watch that happen. So as I poured balls in, this lever, you saw it bounce up and down. This is the lever that turns on the lights. If there's not enough balls in here, like right now, the lights would be on. In fact, let's turn it on and show you. Okay, right now we don't have enough balls in the machine, and so you have 2 lights that come on, and it is important whenever these 2 lights come on that you add more balls to the machine, because if people keep playing when there's not enough balls, that's when ball jams happen, and it takes a little time to unjam those. So I'm going to turn this around and show you the lights on the front. So there's a light in the top left, and there's also a light down here. So as you're playing, whenever one of these 2 lights come on, both of them stop and load the balls up. I'm going to pour some in now, and you can watch the lights. So we have enough balls, the lights have turned off. Okay, with balls in the supply tray and back, we can now put balls in the play tray up front. So here's your play tray. Just pour some balls in the front. And now we're almost ready to start playing. Before you start playing, take that white tray that came with, for the cabinet, and below the machine there's an opening in the cabinet. Slide the tray in the center, and then whenever you shoot, balls will fall through the back and into that tray. Then whenever you need to refill the machine, like I said, when the lights come on, you can just pull out that white tray and pour them into the top. Right now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to shoot. We just loaded balls in the machine, and so the first time that we shoot, it's going to actually take 1 or 2 times for it to load balls into the assembly. So I'm going to flip this. Here's the flipper. I'm going to flip it all the way down, and you have to quickly let go, otherwise it won't work. First time, nothing will happen. Second time, you can see I quickly let go, and a ball launched onto the play field and fell down. If you just pull down and you slowly let up, or some people will grab it by their whole hand and they'll pull down and not let up fast enough, then it won't launch the balls onto the play field. And you can do that several times, and you'll get a lot of them backed up in here, and they won't shoot, and you may have to open up the door to get those out. But anyway, I'm going to change the angle of the camera so you can watch the play. Okay, when I shoot, you're going to see the ball come up here, it'll bounce off a rubber here, and then it'll fall on the machine. There's a couple of these, they open and close. So if you, right now they're open. When a ball goes in, they'll close. When another ball goes in, they'll open back up. And whenever you get one in any of these pockets, they're all the same. They all pay out the same. I believe it's 15 on this machine. So it doesn't matter which one you get, they pay 15. Also, a light behind here will flash, and a couple lights here will flash when we get a jackpot. Okay, one thing I noticed, and that was a jackpot, you heard the balls fall down, hit a bell, and ring, and then they came out here. So, if that doesn't happen, chances are that white seesaw in back is in the wrong position. So if that happens, tell whoever's playing, you know, stop, and then you might have to reset that seesaw. But anyway, the first couple shots, they came here, and they were falling down this side. Now how far you pull down can determine how far the ball travels. So if you want to get the ball to drop here or to drop here, you don't pull it down quite as far. So you can experiment with pulling it down different depths. Now you can shoot one ball at a time like that, or you can go faster and have several balls flying at the same time. Not necessarily encouraged, especially where you're going to have the machine. You may not need to do that, but you can be done that way. Flipper, and as I said, here's my 2 fingers. They're underneath the finger rest bar. I'm pulling back on the flipper and I'm just flicking it, and that's so I can shoot faster. Now when you get a lot of balls in here and this tray starts to fill up, a couple things could happen. If you have too many balls, the weight of them might not allow the balls to flow freely into the shooter assembly. Just take your finger, kind of loosen the balls, and maybe flick the lever a few times, and then they should flow through. If somebody puts trash, carpet fuzz, or other things up in here, they could roll inside here and get caught. In the instruction DVD, there's all kinds of tips and tricks on how to open this up and clean it all out. But in general, that typically doesn't happen. That's how you loosen them. Also, when this is full, you can empty them out of here, and when you do, they flow down from the play tray to the overflow tray. To do that, you simply slide this lever over to the left. Now if you do it and nothing happens, that's because the balls are jammed up. So you do it, and they'll flow down here. Occasionally a ball will bounce out. I just had one bounce out onto the floor. So that's pretty much it for your basic operations. If you have any other questions, you can of course email or call, but I would strongly encourage watching the instruction DVD, which has all kinds of tips and tricks on how to deal with these 30-40-year-old machines. I will show you something peculiar with your machine, that way you're aware of it. This here chrome frame is called your play tray door. That door can open up by pulling a lever on the back. So say you ever have some balls jam up in here for some reason, and you need to, and they're stuck between pins. They shouldn't, but if something like that were to happen, you need to open it. I'll show you how to do that. There's a lever in back, so that you never use a key. These machines, the keys are long gone, but you won't need one with the cabinet that you have. You just reach around and you're going to lift a lever. Okay, that lever is right in the middle of the back of your machine right here. But while I have this camera angle, I'll also point out this switch here with this long arm. This is the switch for when you get a jackpot. And this bar goes up and down, and as it goes up, this moves and is what turns on the lights. I'll go ahead and pretend like we're getting one. So you could see how that went up and down. It shouldn't happen, but someone could with their hand. They could pull this little wire and have it on the wrong side of that switch. So if ever you're getting jackpots but the light's not coming on and it's plugged in, you might just check that. Okay, but back to this lever. It's really easy to open. You just lift up and it popped open the door, and I should be able to pull it open. Okay. Now the tricky part is closing it. When you close it, the top doesn't line up real well. So you almost have to close it. You almost have to like pull it down and then push it closed. Okay, that should cover the basics to get you up and running. I hope you all have many years of fun. I hope all of the folks there have a great time playing this machine. If you have any other questions, just let us know. Thanks again.